As most of you know, I live stream on Twitch every evening, and I've taken to recording these advice segments during that time, if only because people are tuned in to watch me do things, being a variety streamer, like today, eating some fun cereal that was sent to me from Pez Liz all the way up in Canada. I had some Timbits. Tomorrow I'm going to try a different flavor of Timbits. And also am 3D printing something, if you can't hear that going in the background. Can't show it to you because I don't have the picture-in-picture in this particular view. But I stream every day. It's very comfortable for me. It's something that comes as natural as anything for me, because I treat the camera like it's another person. Like, I'm not just talking to nobody. I know I'm getting immediate feedback, specifically from people who are watching live. And then when I record these advice segments and, you know, post them elsewhere, maybe another part of my, I guess, audience would become aware of the things that I'm sharing. So I do my best to maximize the time that I spend. That's one of the reasons why I like doing live video. But live video isn't necessarily for everybody. That said, I do believe everybody has it within them to do live video. And this is where I'm going with this. Hollywood N3D, who joined the greater community here on Twitch, I think after I was doing a live YouTube video saying, hey, I'm over on Twitch doing this stuff, he joined and has been a regular part of my evenings ever since. A fellow Star Wars figure collector. He messaged me, and we were going back and forth all the way up until really today. He messaged me about this originally, and I'm just going to read it verbatim with his permission, because I believe many people find themselves in this particular quandary. I want you to know that I really do appreciate your insight tonight. I'm giving some amount of advice. Go figure, it's me. I've been so scared to actually start streaming and showing myself to others. I'm very self-conscious and always worry what others think and don't do things that I want to because of possible failure. Well, that was likely the advice that I was saying. You know, don't view something as failure when you could just as easily view it as a success. He continues, I know that you speak to others more, but I do consider you a friend and hope the same goes for you. Well, I generally will tell him when, hey, the Star Wars thing is happening right now for at least the types of figures that he collects. So, you know, I don't know. I really don't keep friends so much anymore. That may sound weird, but it's true. I mean, that's what he wrote. Although it would be apropos for me to say it just as well. I hope that you'll be able to help me when I do start streaming. Any advice, tips, or ideas you can throw my way would be great. Well, I already gave you one. If you missed it, I said I treat this camera like it's a person, because I'm not interacting with a piece of technology. I'm not interacting with a flat screen. I'm interacting with you, someone who's listening. I have to be careful, by the way, when I've been reminded that I use my hands a lot, and this camera tends to refocus very, very quickly, especially with objects up close. So, you know, I felt pretty confident when I made the recommendation that if you're inclined to do something, then you're telling yourself everything you need to know. You want to do something. Okay, that's a great start. You know you want to do it. But some people sometimes get to the point where they have analysis paralysis, or they're waiting for everything to be perfect before they begin anything, and then they never actually begin. At some point, you're just going to have to do as Palpatine says and do it. You just got to do it. Just do it. And the great thing about live streaming is that every one that you do can be completely different, and that's okay. You know, the streams you do today are going to be different than the ones you do 6 months from now. It's an evolution. You know, they're probably going to get better. Most streamers do get better over time. They get more comfortable. They find their groove. They unlock different mysteries within themselves that they didn't realize were already there. Hang on just a second. I had to check my filament there. I'm multitasking. So keeping yourself from achieving personal growth because it's you who's keeping yourself from personal growth, it's a bit like an Ouroboros, right? Who are you expecting to tell you to do it? I'm not going to tell you, right? I'll say, you need to do it, but you need to decide to do it, and you need to actually do it. I'm not going to tell you something that you need to tell yourself. You need to tell yourself first. I'll reinforce it. And since you've already told me, hey, Chris, you know, I'm thinking about this, but no but, just stream. And I made the recommendation today, because we were going back and forth, as I mentioned, and I said, well, why don't you just, on Twitch, because he's into 3D printing. He's been doing wonderful with 3D printing. A lot of Star Wars busts and figures in the fandom. Well, general figures, is not like Star Wars figures, but like characters in various fandoms. And I said, well, why don't you train a camera down on the printer, or point it toward the printer, and then just hang out and chat, play some background music, stream safe music, and then just type in chat, say, hey everybody, how you doing? You don't have to talk, you don't have to show up in camera. Like, you can just do that and you can still interact, and you can get your feet wet, and you can just kind of get a feel for it. Now, you may not get an incredible amount of engagement. Engagement may build over time. I mean, some people stream for years and they don't really build anything. I mean, it's somewhat, you know, a matter of timing, a matter of content, a matter of community, a matter of connection, a matter of frequency and stability. I mean, there are a lot of variables that go into live streaming, but the one variable that you don't have to worry about is you. You've already decided that this is something you're interested in. My recommendation is do it, pursue it. You're telling me you want to do it. I'm giving you options by which you can do it while still, if you're, I think, as you noted, self-conscious, but you haven't even given anybody a chance. You're already defeating yourself. You haven't given anybody a chance. And even if you did give people a chance and they admonish you or cut you down, that's their problem. It's their insecurities, not yours. Right now, you're facing a big hurdle, right? You've got to look past that self-consciousness to do it, because you're never going to know. Every day that goes by, you're never going to know what it could have been. And 6 months from now, you'll look back with regret, like, why didn't I do this 6 months ago? In fact, I would go as far as to say, is you do this as a stepping stone, and your self-confidence will improve, because you get more and more comfortable, you know, sharing that bit of your life. And this, by the way, this topic isn't about live streaming, right? It's about how self-consciousness can defeat you before you've even had a chance to succeed. You know, I've mentioned this, you know, several times over. Sometimes you're your own worst enemy. Well, this is the case. No one's telling you not to do it. Well, at least I'm not. And even then, if you still want to do it, you're telling you everything you need to know. So start the stream that way. And maybe, if anything, you know, don't have the camera on you, but talk, right? You don't have to have the camera on you when you're streaming or doing something, but you can talk through it. You can say, hey, so-and-so hanging out in chat. They don't have to see your face. It can be a mystery, right? Or you can even use one of those voice modifiers, right? They don't actually have to hear your voice. There are many ways to slice this, to get around that behavior that unfortunately is keeping you from progressing and succeeding. There are times to listen to that inner voice. You know, that inner voice is going to keep you safe, but keep you safe from what? In this case, your inner voice is talking you out of something that you want to do. So sometimes you have to go shh to your inner voice and say, I'm going to do this. I'll be fine. I'll be safe. I'll control the experience. I'll do what I want. And you don't have to do what you don't want. No one's saying to do that. I'm not saying push yourself past the boundaries of where you're comfortable. I'm giving you options wherein you can be more comfortable with that choice and actually start to grow. To recognize that doing it for the first time may not be easy. It may not be fun. It may be nerve-wracking. But once you do it a first time, second time's easier. Third time's even easier. And then a year down the road, you're like, it's so simple. It's straightforward. But you have to do it. You have to listen to yourself, the part of yourself that says you want to do it. Don't listen to the part of yourself that is telling you that someone's going to judge you. Okay? Because who cares what other people think? Who cares? Who cares? Are you happy? Then who cares? Have you hurt anybody in the process? Then who cares? Who cares? So if someone passes judgment on you, they're going to do that anyway. You don't have to do the thing that you might want to do in the fear of getting judgment passed against you, and someone's still going to pass judgment. It's a classic story, right? Of bullies. Bullies are going to bully no matter what. Never blame the victim. And I'm not saying you're a victim, but hear me out on this scenario. Never blame the person that the bully is attacking. Here's why. The bully's going to say, if you're too short, you're too short. The bully's going to say, if you're too tall, you're too tall. Well, what's too tall? According to what? You're short. You're tall. Your hair's too short. Your hair's too long. Your eyes are too brown. Your eyes are too blue. Do you understand? Like, people are going to pass judgment no matter what you do or do not do. Do not live your life based upon the judgment of someone you don't know. Because at that point, you're not living your life. You're living your life in fear of a judgment that means nothing. Yeah, so, sometimes I get vocal when I get into this because I know a lot of... I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm only an expert in being myself, right? I don't think this is a matter of taking a calm approach. Like, just think about it. Like, why are you living your life based upon somebody else's standards? Why? And I'm not talking about someone you're close with or, a partner or anything. I'm talking just general, right? I'm not saying that the things they say won't hurt or they won't agitate. I'm not saying that at all. But they're nobody to you. And even the people that are close to you, if they're keeping you from being happy and not offering to at least support something that you're doing that's not causing issue or that is generally something that is meant to be building you, and I mean like in terms of a personal endeavor, like this would be something where you're potentially going to be defeating self-consciousness, which I think is an amazing reason to start doing something like that. So, again, we were going back and forth today, and simultaneously, serendipity, kismet, this tweet popped into my timeline. Allison Felix, who I guess is an athlete, but also an entrepreneur, the quote that was attributed to her was, "I get afraid just like you, but you are so much more than enough. So take the weight off of everyone else, or take the weight off the... So take off the weight of everyone else's expectations of you. Know that there is freedom on the other side of your fear. Go out there and be brave with your life because you are worthy of your dreams." And that encapsulated, my sentiment perfectly, succinctly. It would have been this would have been like a 20-second video. That was it. But that's what I was building toward, despite having kind of messed up the part of that quote. It's not living up to someone else's expectations. You create a realistic expectation for yourself, live up to that. And if you don't make it, fine. We all, sometimes don't make, the mark that we were expecting to. Tomorrow's another day. So, set a realistic expectation, set a realistic goal that you control, and give it a shot, give it a go. Don't try to be like somebody else, be yourself. If you don't know who you are yet, you can discover it. It's a great way to start discovering it. But don't be wrapped in fear or you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to go anywhere. It's never going to happen. And then you can start to chip away. You can start working on, why am I self-conscious? Well, maybe I should change that about myself. It's growth. Because, once you're past that, you're no longer self-conscious. You're confident. Because that's a part of who you are, whatever it is. If you're not happy with something, change it. Fix it. Address it. It's your responsibility. You're going to hear that a lot from me over the years. Like, I believe in accountability and responsibility. I believe very strongly in that. But yeah, everyone else's expectations are irrelevant in terms of that pursuit, that fear that is keeping you from something that is otherwise innocuous. Like, it's something that you want to do. So I would say, do it.